we are just about crossing the halfway line. Interesting enough, eh? So, good evening, Gayatri, Ben, Tabile, Alithia. Good to see you guys. Um, just on something, that pairs that we looked at last time, we know that your assignment is due. We looked at some of the assignment. I think Tabile asked me to go through the assignment last week, which we did. It's due on Friday. Guys, my biggest request to you at this point is please do not misuse AI. You will see, if you go to last week's recording, I asked you to put in an AI declaration. Whether you used AI or not, put a declaration in there. So if you haven't used AI, you will say, I did not use AI in any shape, way, form for the submission of this. If you used AI to help you order your thinking, then tell us. AI declaration comes right at the end after your references. There's a declaration. Detail, please. Hi, Dieter. Tell us that this is how I used AI. I used AI to help me order my thinking. This is how I did it. This is the dates. This is what I asked AI. This is what it gave me. Give us the links, the dates. The more detailed your AI declaration is, the better. Guys, I've just seen now that markings started with the modules and everyone's marking assignments. AI is causing havoc, and not in a good way, shall I say that. Um, the minute you step over the line where AI becomes um, the generative agent, you know that you are absolutely in contravention. That's just a fact. So remember, if I can quickly say that again, apart from the trauma associated with an AI investigation, if the system flags you, you guys don't see your AI scores. We see your scores plus a full report. What you guys do see is your similarity index. Again, I want you to submit sub 10, folks. Don't tell me 25, 30, 40 is the best you can do. I want you to come in with aim for an index that sits below 10. Yes, if we see references are flagged, headings are flagged, we take a look at those and we've got an idea of where your similarity sits. But on AI, the system is good. It's really good, guys, and it's gonna catch you out and so on. So if you use AI in any shape, if you use Grammarly, please put it in there. In any case, tell us this is what you did and how you used it. All right, so that's Friday submission. Please remember, I've seen again now, the system is very strict. Hi, Stacey, it will flag you for late submissions. Remember, late submission, Stacey, just mute your your mic, please. Late submissions, 15% penalty for the first 24 hours, and after that, you're literally sitting on a 0. I just want to help that. As far as I know, it's not a separate document, Ali. You just put that AI declaration. That's what I've seen, and that's perfectly fine. You just put an AI declaration somewhere in there and tell us with as much detail as you can how you used AI. Give us the dates, give us the links, give us what you asked it, and so on. That's sufficient. But guys, AI is not your friend. It's not your friend where you are now. It is your friend with a lot of things, but it's not your friend in academia. That's the truth, I tell you. Then I also want to say this again at risk of repeating myself. Please don't make errors with your referencing style, folks. I marked a class now from the 20 students. I think there was about 15 that lost the 5 and 10%. Honor students, same as you, same NQF. But referencing style errors will cost you 5 or 10%. So you make errors, your referencing either in text or in your reference list is not in accordance with what we see in the 2026 Harvard Anglia Adapted Referencing Guide, which you can find on our library website. Please don't throw those marks away, man. You know, it's so sad if you're sitting on a 72 and now the 5% brings you down to a 60 something, or you're sitting on a 61 or a 63 and that 5% takes you down with a 5 or even a 10%, and you're sitting with that penalty. Good evening, Cameron. All right, we've only done one ICE task, so this evening we're going to do our second ICE task. I will put the alternative for the first ICE task up. ICE task closing date will be somewhere in May. I will announce the date when we've got certainty on that. Yes, Ali, you're welcome to ask.
Sorry, I just have a general question, not specifically just for entrepreneurship, but I think it just covers all the modules.
Yes.
In particular with regards to assignments, most of our assignments would be, besides the questions, it requests obviously introduction and conclusions. So
Yes.
I just wanted to find out when that gets done, is that part of the word count that gets requested at the start of the assignment?
Yeah.
Is the intro and conclusion part of the word count? Okay.
Yeah, you'll count. Thanks. Good question. You will count everything. So you will count the whole block of text. You will exclude all the preamble and then of course the reference list and after.
Yeah.
And once again, folks, my take on word count, if I can quickly, I'm not pedantic about that. I'm not going to stop marking at the very second you reach the allocated count, especially if you're giving me good stuff. But there are some lecturers and some academics who are much stricter on that. And you don't know if your work ends up with an external, a moderator, someone else. So it's always a good thing to try and write work economically, to master that skill, to display that skill, and try and stick to the word count as close as possible. Please, word count exceeding is one thing, but guys, I also see the other side, where you've got a 4,000, say for argument's sake, word count allowance, and you give me 2,000, and my response would be, listen, your work is too cryptic. You literally used half the allocated word space, word count, so your answers are cryptic. There's a lack of substance. You could have unpacked these issues much better. So use your count. Make use of your count and do it good and do it clever. All right. On 11th of March, we did, you guys will probably remember, you presented on social entrepreneurship. It was a class presentation. And we spoke about social entrepreneurship and global challenges. I think there were about 7 of us in class on that date. That was ICE Task 1, guys. So whatever I put on ARC as an alternative, as a catch-up, please don't repeat that. If you were in class on that date, I see we had Ali, Gayatri, Stacy, Cameron, Machidiso, Tabile, and Benjamin, 7 of you. Then that is not for you. This is for, if for some reason you couldn't make this session, there's an alternative for you to catch up on that ICE mark. I'll communicate this. It will be before the closing date, so no one needs to worry. But that was ICE Task 1. So this evening, your participation here is going to earn you ICE Mark 2. Remember, we've got 4 ICE marks, 2.5% each for a total weight of 10% of your aggregate, no problem, Cam, of your aggregate module mark, and that is where you sit, right? You're welcome to raise a hand as always. You're welcome to use the chat. And I'm sharing my screen. Okay. I want to discuss, so this evening is gonna be partially discussing something. Let me make this 20 minutes and give you enough time. Okay, guys, on the module page, right at the top, you get activities, discussions. I think a week or 2 ago, we went in there and we did something on that exact place where we have a discussion forum. You created a new thread and you participated on the forum. This is where we're going to work again this evening. Remember, this evening is ICE task number 2. So it says here, navigate to the activities discussion section on the module page on ARC. Follow the instructions for ICE task 2. We will do the threads and discuss afterwards. I'm going to make some time for discussing afterwards. All right, I will allow 20 minutes for you all to complete your answers on the forum on ARC. I'm quickly going to show you what it's about, and then I'm going to leave you guys to continue. Carefully reflect on the following questions. Create a new thread and post your input in the discussion forum. We are not putting anyone on the spot, please. All views are appreciated. Let's learn from each other. So please, guys, feel free. We're all adults. Say what you want to say. Be honest. I really want to know, and we want to learn from each other. All right, we're talking about entrepreneurship, ethics, and authenticity. Stacey, your mic, I don't know if you wanted to say something. Let me see. There's something popping up here. I'm trying to join, but I'm struggling due to my laptop having endless problems. We'll join soon. All right, 100% understood. At this point, it looks like you are in, Stace. I'm just going to mute your mic, please, because your mic isn't muted. So there are 7 of you in the session. No problem. All right. We're talking about entrepreneurship, ethics, authenticity. And I'll show you now what I put on the forum. I'm going to ask you 8 questions, and I want you to carefully type out what you think and feel, what you perceive to be the truth regarding ethics and entrepreneurship. Such a valid, such an appropriate thing to discuss when we talk about entrepreneurship, hey? Ethics. So, my first question is, how do you see the world of business? Is it dirty? Is it something that's meant for crooks? Or is it a place where you, as an honest, transparent business person, can also find your calling? Nah. And why do you say that? I'm thinking about people that say, listen, if you want to do business in Africa, you have to be a crook. If you have to go through customs at Zim, at Beitbridge, or at Mozambique, and you want to do business, you're gonna have to bribe. It's part of the story. Is business dirty, or is it something that people that have a heart for honest business can participate in? I want to know what you think and why you say that. Then there's an interesting question. You need to think about this one. On what basis do you personally navigate your life and your business journey from an ethical perspective? So how do you make difficult decisions? How do you make value decisions? How do you make moral decisions? Then there's a question asking you, do you think morality is relative or absolute? Why do you say that? Then I want you to also share your views on what I call internalized ethics. In other words, it's values that we carry inside versus external rules, directives, decrees, statutes, in terms of modifying behavioral outcomes. Share your views on that. Then an interesting question, a bit of a philosophical one. Are people basically, inherently, in essence, good or bad? What do you say? Are people inherently good? Is humanity inherently good or not? Why do you say that? Philosophical question that you hear about the guy that had an injury somewhere in a public place, and they said, is there a doctor here? And there's a guy that jumped up and he said, I'm a doctor. And but the person was like badly injured. So this guy looked at him and he said, he's gonna die. And they say, what? He says, by the way, I'm a doctor in philosophy. And they said, are you sure? And he says, yes, but we're all gonna die. And that was as much as you could help them. But a typical doctor of philosophy answer. We're all gonna die. Are people inherently good or bad? All right. Are we sitting with a systemic immorality crisis in South Africa? Yes or no? Why do you say that? What's your solutions to the moral dilemmas of the contemporary world, and specifically in South Africa, guys? And then the last question, there's 8 of them. Comment briefly on the potential tension between your personal values and professional gain. You're sitting between these 2 fires. You're in business for business, but there's also the ethical side. So we need to balance that. As entrepreneurs, that's a truth in tension that we face. Your values, your ethics, and then profit, and so on, personal gain. All right, I'm going to show you what it looks like on ARC, and then I'm going to leave you to do that. Maybe if you say 20 minutes is not enough, I'll give you more. On the module page, I went to activities, I went to discussions. Right at the top, you'll see, as I'm sharing my screen now, it's small, but when you open it, you will see that. And exactly the questions we went through now are here. Of course, like we did last time, you go onto the discussion forum, that's what we call it. You will say create new thread, start a new thread, and there you will put your thread. I put a test thread earlier just to make sure that the discussion forum is functional, and that is what you see here. So you will literally say start a new thread. It's a lot, guys. Let's put it down to 20 minutes, which means we reconvene at 18:35. That's it. That's me. Get cracking. We're going to discuss this a bit after. All of you know how to do this. We've been in there last time. You can stay here. You can stay in the meeting if you want to. I'm going to mute and go and get a cup of coffee. And I'll speak to you guys in 20 minutes. So about 18:35. Please give us answers that are honest and transparent. Thank you. We speak now. Matsiru, just look at what you see on the screen. You're going to do something on ARC. Just go to Ice Task 1 on the discussion forum and follow the instructions, please. Matsiru, you read me.
All right, thanks, sir.
Okay, folks, I'll see you now, and I'll see you in 20 minutes. I know.
Yes, hello, sir. Sorry, I had to go handle an emergency. I just came back home now to deal with the class. So I see there's an ice task. Do you think I can still make it before it ends?
Oh, of course we can. Absolutely. So you see my screen there. We're gonna actually start talking now. So Noah, I wouldn't do it now. I'm gonna leave it open for you guys. So yes, you can still do that. But we are now going back to discussing. So the first part of the session we used to put our input in the discussion forum, and now we will go on discussing.
Okay, perfect.
Guys, I'm launching a poll. We can come back to the. I'm putting up one of the questions that we had in our thread, and I want you guys to vote on this one. I'm also going to vote. And let's run a poll on this one. You should be able to see the poll now running. You can take your pick. It's a binary answer. It's a yes or a no. It's oversimplifying, yes, I know. But let's see what you guys vote. All right, I've had about 4 responses, including mine. We need some more of you guys to vote. Right, 4 responses. Please complete the poll. There's only one of 2 options, guys. I need a few more people to put their votes down. It's anonymous. Names are not recorded, guys, so please give me your answer. All right, 8 responses. Interesting. All right, I'm going to stop there. At this point, there's 8 responses. 6 people, or 75%, said yes. Said no, people are not good. And 2 people, or 25%, voted that people are inherently good. So it's a 60, it's a 75-25% poll result. Let's finish with the poll. Back to my screen. Right. Activities, discussions. Right, and there's about 8 of you that have posted. I want to just put you at ease. People that have problems this evening to complete this, like Tabile, like Noah that joined us a bit later. I will keep this open, folks. So I will announce the ICE deadline. The ICE deadline is firm. We've had another yes there, so it's 3 yes. and 6 no. I'm very firm in the ICE deadline because campus wants the ICE marks to calculate CAS. But I will keep this open. So you're going to have a chance to go to this exact same forum and put your input in there and earn your mark. So you're not penalized in that respect at all. I see Dieter has posted, Ali, Stacy, Gayatri, Matshiru, Benjamin, Cameron, and my own test thread. Guys, I want you to go to these questions and read what your colleagues have said. I want to ask you this. It's so interesting when we speak about value. So all of us have a worldview, right? Our worldview is this lens through which we see the world. Now, interestingly enough, that worldview is made up of a lot of components, as it were. Now, your education, your upbringing, your culture, the house you grew in with, the place you grew up with, religious affiliation if you are religiously affiliated. And your worldview shapes your attitude, which shapes your behavior. So all of us make a lot of conscious value-based decisions every day, ethical decisions, but we also make a lot of, they say hundreds, of unconscious value-based decisions every day. And I think where it becomes interesting is if you ask this question, which I think is fundamental, philosophically fundamental, to say, are people basically good? Are people basically bad? Looking at yourself, if you say, listen, you don't agree with that statement, and you say, I think people are basically at their core prime evil level, greedy, selfish, self-centered, what's in it for me? That's not necessarily a train smash, but I think it puts you in it gives you a certain understanding of the world. Whereas if you think or believe in your heart of hearts that people are inherently good, that again puts you on a different trajectory in how you manage the world and navigate the world. I must stop speaking with my hands. It's interesting that we've got this majority saying that people are inherently not good. That's very interesting, and I'd like to understand. And I'm going to some of your answers. I think we're a bit pressed for time now, but I'm going to read every single post, and I encourage you to read what your colleagues also said. It's not so much an issue of whether people are bluntly or apparently good or bad. Think about if we were sitting in a classroom, guys, if I was sitting with you there now, and one of us left something on their desk, one of us left 100 Rand note on their desk, went out for coffee. I'm 100% sure when we came back, one of you went down to the cafeteria to get a coffee, or I went down, I left $100 on my table. It's going to be there. 100% confident. The money's going to be there. When it's interesting is when it becomes gray. If I ask you, let's do this. I'm not going to do a poll. I'm going to ask you. Now, be honest. Answer me with a reaction. Raise your hand if it's a yes. Have you ever told a lie in your life? Have you ever told a lie in your life? Yes. You can welcome to react. I say yes. And there's a couple of you that say yes. Have you ever stolen something in your life? Have you ever stolen something in your life? Yes. I certainly have. Matshiru, is that a yes? Have you ever lusted for someone, a human being, that is maybe not your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend? Honest? Yes. You see, if we say, listen, people are not going to steal cars or murder each other, but what about the small things? How much time does employees spend on Facebook at work? Or make a phone call or use the corporate copy machine to make their copies, which is not part of the perks working there. And now you see it can be gray. You know, there's a way we look at people and we tend to justify our values, our behavior. I've never heard, if I ask you, are you a good person? You probably say, yes, you think you are. You're an ethical person. I've never heard of anyone that says, I'm not. I've never, ever, ever encountered someone, if you ask them, and they say, no, I'm an absolutely crooked thief of a person. You won't encounter that. So people sort of tend to see themselves as good. And that's the way we rationalize the world. We can classify others. There's a quote I want to leave you with, which goes like this. It says, we compound, in other words, we make up, we compound for the sins we are inclined to by damning those we have no mind to. That means we tend to say, listen, at least I don't do that. Or at least I'm not that person, or I'm not a murderer, or this or that. So ethics and values and value-based business is such a big thing, and it's a philosophical thing. We all know what the normatives are, guys. Let me ask you this. Do we need more rules, regulations, laws, or do we have enough of them? Can I ask you again? Tell me in the chat. Who sticks to the speed limit? 120 on the highways. Be honest. Do you stick to the speed limit? Who doesn't stick to the speed limit? Dieter, do you stick to the speed limit at all times? 60 and 120. Do we stick to the speed limit because we stick to the speed limit because we internalize that value, or do we stick to it because we don't want to be caught? Ben says, not at all. Ali says, I don't want to get a fine. Guys, who pays their TV licenses? It's a law, hey? It's a national law. If you own a flat screen smart TV, you have to pay a TV license. Who pays that? Gayatri says you don't want to be caught. That question where I asked you about internalizing versus external, if we are in a place and we say, listen, guys, we're in a building and we put up boards there that says no smoking allowed. You know those no smoking signs. Will that stop people from smoking inside the building? Yes, it will. It will attain that objective. That's an external regulation. It's a rule. It's a law. Don't smoke inside this building. Guys, I don't know if you remember this. In my days when I was young, my parents actually tells me about these days. Before we had smoking laws, you smoked on aeroplanes, you smoked in restaurants, you smoked in movie theaters. You smoked the movie theater blue with everyone smoking there. So it's funny now if that was different times. I don't have a choice, says Ben. They deduct the TV license every September. Yeah, it's lelik, eh? So there's the external where we say, all right, we're going to put up boards. Stick to the speed limit. Don't smoke here. If we catch you, we catch you. There's consequences. There's carrots and sticks, all right? We hold reward or punishment, consequences before your nose. What about internalizing values or institutionalizing values in the case of an entrepreneurial venture or a business or a corporate, and say, I don't smoke or I don't do this because it's the right thing to do, or I don't smoke because I want to look after my body, for argument's sake. There's an internalized value that guides your behavior. What about the discrepancy between our declared values or our declared ethics and the ethics that plays out, the way it plays out? Again, guys, if we talk about people with religious or spiritual affiliation in South Africa, they say it's 80% plus. Say 80% people in this country are in some way religiously or spiritually affiliated, which is normally associated with good norms, right? Why do you see that discrepancy between people's beliefs, believed values, declared values, and the way it actually plays out. There's a discrepancy, or is there a consistency? Then something we need to ask and think about in our own lives. I wish we had more time. We'll touch on this next time as well. Asking the question, is there a systemic immorality in South Africa? How do we fix it? Where does it lie? Is it an internal? Is it external? Do we need more laws? Do we need to educate people? Do we have almost this vibe in South Africa where we feel everyone gets away with everything? But guys, it can come back so easily to yourself. I remember when we had panic toilet paper buying in COVID. I saw myself also, rushing, and almost that survival of the fittest, primeval thing. Let me tell you guys, we live in an almost a sophisticated, very a very civilized, sophisticated society, but that's superficial to some extent. If we really face crisis, if there's really some sort of a food shortage or a crisis, or it's really a life and death situation, you will see in yourself and in others how your nature can manifest and will manifest in terms of looking out for yourself and surviving and that sort of thing. There's a lot that we still need to unpack and discuss about this, because value-based business sits at the core of the King 4 report. Now, the King 4 report says all businesses, all entities, from the smallest sole proprietors, entrepreneurs, SMEs, micro, big businesses, they are all bound by what's said in the King 4 report on corporate governance. So the normatives are there. We've got enough of that. We know what's right. We know what's right and what's wrong. What's the driving force for people to act in a way that's ethically acceptable and ethically sound? What's your personal way? How do we bring that into a business? How do we bring that into a corporate setting? What role does leadership play, etc., etc.? I see we're out of time, or we're on time here. Thank you very much. I've said a couple of things. We haven't discussed this in length. We will do it again. For those of you who haven't completed the forum thread input, please go and do so. We may touch on this next week as well. I'm going to leave you with my best wishes for submission on Friday. Please don't be late. Don't take it too late, so that there's maybe bottlenecks on the servers. And please, guys, don't shoot yourself in the foot with unnecessary mistakes. Thanks for everyone's contribution. I'm going to read through it now, and we'll touch base soon. Take care. Thanks for everyone, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for reflecting on your values. It's important, hey? And interesting. All right. We speak, folks.